this actually quite literally for a change, because I'm a couple stories trying to think of the holidays. It's cold outside. I'm like, I've been a skier for a number of years, and I'm thinking the number of things that never quite appear as they. So mostly what I want to do is go through a couple brief examples just to illustrate my point that things not always appear the way they should. The first story I have is actually of a time I was going down the slopes. It was a nice, beautiful, snowy day. And you get the whole nice little skiing. You're going through the little moguls, little bumps, and you're doing the whole like back and forth, trying not to bounce out of your ski, because that's not fun. So I see, back when I was younger, I enjoyed doing a little bit more hot dogging. I loved hearing the bumps just because I love the idea of just going whoop. Unfortunately, that's about as much as it really ended up being. Now, in the back of my mind, it felt like I was in the air for a good 30 seconds, went a block or so. Reality, I've seen the footage. It didn't happen. One time, I was going down this hill, and I was like, oh, there's a great one. It's right at the bottom of the run, so I'll be able to hit this nice straightaway as you come out right at the bottom of the hill, so that you have the chairlift, so you can just get right on and relax after your knees and back take the abuse of the landing. And what ended up happening is I'm going down, I'm like, okay, there's a great lift. So I get to the top of this little bump. Now, obviously, it's too far to turn around or stop at this point, because obviously you want to some decent clip to get any kind of air off of these things. And I noticed when I was looking at this from the top, I saw the bump, and then all of a sudden it goes down and apparently comes right back up to the same level. But apparently, just because of the way the hill was sloping down, you couldn't see the fact that it went and just came right back up. So as you could probably surmise, my air time was rather short-lived, with the fronts of my skis hitting the other side of this bump. Normally that wouldn't be too bad, because obviously they have ejection automatically built into the skis, so you come out of them. Unfortunately, I was going forward, which means the first thing to really impact the ground was my head. It's nothing like using your head as a brake. Yeah, after that I laid there enjoying the cold snow cooling me off from the pain that was my head. Hopefully that had no later long-term effects. But needless to say, I was like swearing, so I won't use any colorful adjectives or any body language to depict that what my sentiments were at that immediate moment. But it was a life lesson to not take things at face value. Now, that was the nicer of the two stories, actually. The second story, to help illustrate this point, was I was following a friend. We were actually up at Whistler doing the Blackcomb, if anybody's been there, and they have a nice glacier on the top. So my friend wanted to get in above the glacier, so we started at the very top, as high as we could get, going through the trees. He's on a snowboard, which makes him a little more nimble. I fortunately had shorter skis, so I was doing okay. He's a much better skier and snowboarder than I am. So I was going through the trees with him. We're obviously going back and forth, trying to make sure we don't kill ourselves like anybody superstars that we've heard hitting trees inadvertently. I think O.J. Simpson comes to mind, I don't know why. But in any case, so there's the clearing. We can see it. You can see the glacier clearing out in nice little bowls. So we're hitting it right at the top. So as we're hitting that, we're coming out of the snow, or out of the forest, pardon me, and my friend is right in front of me. It was great, all until I watched my friend go out of the forest, and all of a sudden he disappeared. And unfortunately, I'm about 6 feet behind him, with, again, no means of coming to a stop going between trees. So as I all of a sudden realized there's a nice 10-foot drop right in front of me, because with my friend disappearing, I start choosing every explicitive word I can think of, starts spewing forth out of my mouth as I'm swearing up a storm at my friend for what he has just done to me, or I should say about to do to me, as I clear out and I'm now in the middle of the air with nothing below me. I have no real good explanation of to how everything happened from there, because it all kind of became a blank. I just remember being in the air, swearing, don't know where my friend is anymore, frankly, don't care. I just remember the swearing, I swear there was some pinching of my eyes shut, and then the impact. Now, the impact was okay. I actually managed to land it without killing myself and kept going and ended up sitting on my skis and riding them for another 50 feet, which was kind of funny because that's the last thing you want to be doing is ending up in this position on a pair of skis, because then the skis have full control of where you're going until you manage to roll onto your side and eat a bunch of snow. So, after that, I don't think I've ever followed my friend again, because I have no concept of where he might take me, because he likes the trees and he likes jumps, and knowing that, it's in my best interest not to do that. Now, I'm sure everybody can think of a few examples in their lives where quite literally things did not appear as they seemed. So I just want to put out as a lesson that I've learned, and I'd like to get everybody to hopefully not run into the same occurrences, that things aren't always as they seem, and it's not just a phrase for, don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes it's quite literal. With that, fellow Dust Monsters and all your guests.